Today topic is the OSI model. So in that today we discuss about the OSI reference model and services in the OSI model. What are the services the OSI model provided? So first OSI reference model. So first the OSI stands for the Open System Interconnection, and the OSI reference model is an internationally standardized network architecture. So the OSI model contains the 7 layers. So here the OSI model, it describes, the model describes how the information from a software application in one computer moves to the physical medium, to the software application in the other computer. So here the OSI model have the 7 layers. Each layer perform a particular network functions. The OSI model developed, and this model is developed by the International Organization for Standardization in 1984. So here the OSI model divides the whole task in a 7 smaller and manageable tasks. Each layer is assigned a particular task. So here the OSI model is a 7 layer architecture. So then what are those layers are? So these are the 7 layers. The first one is the application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, physical layer. So here the physical layer is the first layer, data link layer is the second layer of the OSI model, and network layer is the third layer, and transport layer and session layer and presentation layer and application layer. So these order is the very important. Okay. So here the network layer and data link layer, physical layer, those are the low layers or hardware layers. So here we are using the hardware components. So and transport layer, the transport layer is a very important layer. We also call that it is a heart of the OSI model. Okay, it is a part of the OSI model. And next one is the application layer, presentation layer, session layer. So these 3 layers are the upper layer, upper layers of the OSI model. Okay, so these are the 7 layers of the OSI architecture, OSI model. Okay, and the OSI model is also called the layered architecture. The first, then we have to discuss about the application layer. So this application layer access the network services. So this application layer access the network services, and it directly provide the services to the users and end the services to the users. Okay. And represent the services that directly support the software applications for file transfer, database access, and electronic email, etc. So the main functions of the OSI model is nothing but file transfers and access and management. Okay. And another one is the mail services. So either here the file transfer. So an application layer allows the user to access the files in a remote computer, to retrieve the files from a computer, and to manage the files in a remote computer. Okay. And mail services. Coming to the mail services, and application layers provide the facility for the email forwarding and storage. So it provides the facilities from the email forward and storage, and direct services. And next one is the direct services. An application layer provides the distributed database source and is used to provide the global information about the various objects. The next one is the presentation layer. So here the presentation layer related to representation of the transmitted data. So translate the different data representations from the application layer into a uniform standard format, and it provides the services for the source efficient data transmission. So a presentation layer is a mainly concerned with the syntax and semantic of the information exchange between the two systems. So it acts as a data transfer from a network. So this layer is a part of the operating system that converts the data from one presentation from format to the another format. So the presentation layer is also known as the syntax layer. Okay. So the main functionality of this layer is the translation and encryption. So encryption and decryption, and compression. So translation is nothing but the process in the two systems exchange the information in the form of characters, strings, numbers, and so on. So different computers use the different encoding methods. The presentation layer handles the interruptibility between the different encoding methods. So it converts the data from sender department from format into a common format and change the common format into a retriever dependent format. Okay. And next one is the encryption. So here the encryption is needed to maintain the privacy. Okay. Privacy encryption is a process of converting the sender transmitted information to the another form and send the resulting message over the network. Next one is the compression. So the data compression is the process of compressing the data. That is, it reduces the number of bits to be transmitted. The data compression is the very important medium, such text and audio and video. So next, session layer. The session layer also two applications on different computers to establish use and end session. Okay, so it first of all, the session layer is used to establish and maintain the synchronized and interaction between the communication devices. So establish the dialogue control and perform the token management and synchronization. So what is the dialogue control? So the session layer act as a dialogue control that creates a dialogue between the two processes, or we can say that it allows the communication between the two processes, which can be either off duplex or full duplex. Okay. So synchronization is nothing but the session layer at the some checkpoints when the transmitting the data in a sequence. So if some error occurs in the middle of the transmission of the data, so the transmission will take place again from the checkpoint. So this is the process is known as synchronization and recovery. So it is a very important. And next one is the transport layer. So we already know that the transport layer is the very important layer. It is the heart of the OSI model. And here the transport layer manages the transmission packets. Okay. And it handles the error recognition and recovery. So the transport layer uh, responsibilities of the main responsibility is to transfer the data completely. So the main responsibility is to transfer the data completely, and it receives the data from the upper layer and convert them into the smaller units known as the segments. So here the data should be converted in the units. Sorry, here the data should be converted in the form of the segments. Okay. And also responsible for the packets in correct order to get the original message. This layer can be uh, this layer can be termed as an end-to-end layer as it provides the point-to-point connection between the source and destination to deliver the data reliability. So the main functionalities of this layer is the transmitting uh, here we are using the TCP protocols and the UDP protocols. So TCP protocols is nothing but the transmission control protocol and UDP is nothing but the user datagram protocol. So the main functionality is service point. The main functionality is service point addressing and segmentation and reusability. So the segmentation and reusability and connection control and flow control and error control. And next one is the network layer. So here the network layer is the third layer of the OSI model, and it manage the addressing or routing of data within the subnet. Okay, within the subnet, and it also determines the best path to move the data from the source to destination based on the network condition, the priority of services and other factors. So here the data link layer is responsible for the routing and forwarding the packets. So and here the network layer addresses manage the addresses and translate the logical address and name it into a physical address. So logical address is nothing but the IP address and physical address is nothing but MAC address. So, and it also determine the routes from the source to destination computers. So, and it also manage the traffic problems such as the switching, routing, and control the conjunction of the data packets. So here we are using so we have to find the best path from the source to destination. We are using the routing algorithms. So here we are using the routers also. So here the routing algorithms can be based on the static table and determine the start of the each session and individually determine for the each packet represent reflecting in the current network loader. So by using these routing techniques, we have to forward the packets from the source to destination within the source to destination. Okay. So using this routing algorithm, we can find the shortest path and we can forward the exact data from the source to destination through that route. So routing can provide the routes. Okay. That means the routing algorithms provide the routes. And next one is the data link layer. Okay. So the data link layer responsible for error-free transfer of data frames. So the main responsible of the error-free transfer the data frames and packages raw bits from the physical layer into a frames. That is the logical structure and package for the data provides the reliable transmission from the frames. So it waits for the acknowledgement from the receiving the computers and retransmit the frames from the for which acknowledgement not received. So here the main functionality of the data link is the framing and physical address and flow control and error control and access control. So the framing is nothing but the data link layer transmit the physical raw bits streams into a packet. So now has the frames. Okay. So it also um, it also contain the header and tailor and packet. Okay. In the frame, it contains the header and tailor. The data link layer adds the header and tailor to the frame, and the header which is added to the frame contain the hardware destination and source address. And physical address is nothing but that the data linker adds a header to the frame that contains the destination address. The frame is transmitted to the destination address maintained in the header. Okay, that destination address is maintained in the header. And flow control and error control. Flow control is the main functionalities of the data link layer. It is the technique through the the which the constant data rate is maintained on the both the sides so that no data get corrupted. It ensures that the transmitting the station such as the server with the higher processing speed does not exceed the receiving stations with lower processing speed. And next one is the error control. So error control is achieved by adding a calculated value. That is the cyclic redundancy check. So that is placed on the data link layer trailer, which is added to the message frame before it is sent the physical layer. So if any errors seems to the occurs, then the receiver send the acknowledgement for the transmission of the corrected frame. Okay. So that is the error control. So access control is nothing but when two or more devices are connected to the same communication channel, then the data link layer protocol are used to determine which device has control over the link in a given time. And next one. physical layer. The main functionalities of the physical layer is to transmit the individual bits from the one node to the another node. So transmission bits from one computer to the another computer. Okay. So regulates the transmission of stream of the bits over a physical medium. Defines the how the cable is attached to the network and adapts the what transaction is techniques is used to send the data over the cable. So deals with the issues like the definition of the zeros of one, how many volts of represents a one, and how long a bit is lost. So whatever the data we are sending the source to destination, that data should be converted in the zeros to ones. Okay. So whether the channel is a simplex or duplex. So that means the data should be simplex or duplex. So how many pins are concerned has and what are the functions are each pin is. So here how the data should be converted and how the data should be transmitted. So that is should be the physical layer. Here the physical layer, the entire data should be converted in the form of the zeros and ones, and then the physical layer transfer the data to the another system. Okay. So the main functionality of the physical layer is a line configuration. So it defines the way how to or how two or more devices can be connected in the physical. Okay. And next one is the data transmission in defines the transmission the mode whether it is the simplex or duplex. So simplex or sorry half duplex and fully duplex mode between the two devices on the network. So and next one we have to know the uh, and we have to define the way how the network devices are arranged. So that means the topology. So which topology we are using. And signals. It determines the type of the signals or which type of the signals we are used to transmitting the data information. Okay. And next one is the services in the OSI model. So in the OSI model, each layer provides the services to layer above and consume the services provided by lower by layer below, and it achieves the elements in the layer is called the entities. So here the entities in the same layer in different mission called the pre-entity. So this is the total the OSI model. The OSI model is what are the OSI model and how many layers in the OSI model and what are the services provided to the OSI model. Okay.